Silence, often underestimated in a noisy world, holds within it a powerful secret. It is the invisible shield of the chosen ones. Imagine silence as a protective cloak that surrounds dreams and plans, preventing them from being exposed before the right time, like fragile seeds that need fertile soil and shade to germinate. It is in this space of quiet that great visionaries find the strength to protect their visions and preserve their energy. Just as the silent night guards the brightest stars, silence shields us from the storms of judgment and the dispersion that occurs when we share too soon what is still in formation. For the chosen ones, silence is not an act of omission, but an active practice of safeguarding. It is a conscious decision to protect what has been planted in the heart by the divine, a choice to keep each unsaid word as a precious jewel. There are moments when the world pressures us to share, explain, or justify our dreams and ambitions. But those who understand the power of silence know that not everything is meant to be revealed. There is a sacredness in keeping plans in the heart, like a treasure that will only be shown when it is fully formed. This secret is what distinguishes those who only dream from those who realize. Silence, therefore, is not just an empty space, but a sacred place where intentions are protected and strengthened. At this moment, I invite you to reflect. How many times have your dreams been harmed by too many words or premature exposure? How many times have you felt something precious was lost because you didn't keep it in silence? Perhaps it's time to recognize that silence is more than the absence of sound. It is a tool of protection, a wise choice that connects us to divine wisdom. Silence calls us to walk a less traveled road, where patience and faith are our guides. And on this journey, we are reminded that there is power in not revealing everything, in letting our dreams grow in mystery, protected from contrary winds and the distractions of the world. Silence, after all, is the ally of those called to something greater. Silence, in its essence, is much more than the absence of words or sounds. It is a deep, limitless space, an internal territory where the mind quiets and the soul finds its balance. In the busy world we live in, where distractions demand our attention at every moment, silence emerges as a restorative force, a bridge between the material and the divine. Great thinkers throughout history have exalted the value of silence. Blaise Pascal, in one of his most famous reflections, stated that most of the problems of mankind arise from man's inability to sit quietly alone in a room. This inability to silence the mind disconnects us from our deepest essence, scattering our energy in external and internal noise. On the other hand, those who learn to cultivate silence discover a fertile space for creativity and wisdom. Silence can also be seen as a portal to spiritual alignment. It is in silence that we hear that inner voice, soft yet powerful, guiding us toward our purpose. This voice does not compete with the noise of the world. It patiently waits for us to quiet ourselves so that we can hear it. In this state, we connect to a divine energy that strengthens our faith, clarifies our intentions, and gives us the courage to move forward. If we think of silence as an open field, we can imagine our ideas and dreams as seeds sown in this soil. They're far from judgment and energies that could suffocate them. They can take root deeply. Silence protects these seeds, allowing them to grow until they are strong enough to bloom in the light of the sun. For the chosen ones, silence is not a prison but a choice of freedom. It is a moment of retreat, of distancing oneself from the confusion and chaos to find clarity and truth. It is like the pause in a symphony, which not only separates the notes but also gives them meaning and purpose. Thus, the philosophy of silence teaches us that by protecting our energy and intentions, we are connecting with something greater than ourselves. We are creating a space where the divine can act, where miracles can happen, where the inexplicable manifests. Silence is not empty but full of possibilities, an inexhaustible source of power and wisdom. Silence, from a spiritual perspective, is a sacred refuge, a place where energies align and intentions solidify. It is more than a conscious choice. It is a practice of spiritual protection that guards the essence of our purpose and the sacredness of our dreams. In silence, we find the necessary space to strengthen our connection with the divine and preserve our energy against external influences. Sacred scriptures provide numerous evidences of the power of silence. Psalm 91 verse 11 reminds us that He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Just as angels protect the paths of the chosen ones, silence protects their intentions and visions. It creates an invisible barrier against forces that could divert our attention or weaken our determination. There is also wisdom in silence when it comes to guarding dreams and plans. The story of Joseph, narrated in Genesis, serves as a powerful warning. When Joseph shared his dreams with his brothers, he opened a door to envy and adversities that delayed his journey. Even though divine providence turned the situation into something grand, the example teaches us the importance of protecting our dreams until they are ready to manifest. Sharing our plans prematurely can expose us to criticism, doubts, and negative energies. Not all ears that listen to us are ears of support. Not all hearts around us celebrate our victories. Silence, on the other hand, preserves our sacred intentions, preventing them from being contaminated by judgments or discredited by those who do not understand their magnitude. Practicing spiritual silence is also a way of honoring divine timing. Just as a farmer does not reveal the harvest before the fruits are ripe, the chosen ones know that there is a right moment for each revelation. In silence, we wait patiently, trusting that everything will manifest in due time. Moreover, silence acts as a shield, protecting our personal energy. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by external opinions and expectations, maintaining silence helps us conserve our inner strength. It allows us to step back, reflect, and recalibrate so that we can move forward with greater clarity and purpose. Therefore, silence, from a spiritual perspective, is not merely a practice of retreat but an act of trust. It is the manifestation of deep faith in something greater, a surrender to the divine, a declaration that we are willing to wait for the right moment. In this silence, we find not only protection but also the strength to continue. Silence is not a singular practice. It takes on various forms, each with a specific purpose in the spiritual journey of the chosen ones. Understanding these variations allows us to use it strategically, adjusting it to the needs of the moment and strengthening different aspects of our connection with the divine. The first type of silence is strategic silence. This is intentional silence, chosen to protect dreams, plans, and ideas. Just as a general does not reveal their strategy before the battle, those called to something greater recognize that not all information should be shared. Nehemiah exemplifies this brilliantly as he rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. He kept his plans secret, revealing them only when the time was right. This type of silence teaches us to safeguard what is still in formation, allowing it to grow away from external influences. There is also inner silence, which involves the quieting of the mind and heart. In a world full of noise, finding this inner tranquility is an act of resistance. This type of silence connects us to our deepest essence, creating a space where we can hear God's voice or the call of our intuition. It is in inner silence that we find clarity for our decisions and courage for our challenges. It teaches us that true peace does not depend on external circumstances but on the harmony we cultivate within ourselves. Finally, there is relational silence, a form of self-control that preserves energy in our relationships. Often, we are tempted to respond impulsively or reveal more than we should in social interactions. Relational silence teaches us the value of pausing, of reflecting before speaking. It helps us avoid unnecessary conflicts and maintain the integrity of our words. As the proverb says, even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. This type of silence reminds us that there is power in saying nothing when words do not add value. These different forms of silence work together to strengthen our spiritual journey. Strategic silence protects our plans. Inner silence reconnects us to our essence, and relational silence preserves harmony in our interactions. In each of these forms, we find a unique way to resist the noise of the world and remain aligned with our purpose. Everyday examples illustrate the importance of these practices. Think of the artist who keeps their unfinished work secret, the meditator who retreats to find inner peace, or the wise one who chooses not to respond to provocation. In each case, silence acts as a powerful force, shaping the future and protecting the present. Thus, silence is not just the absence of sound or words, but a conscious choice to preserve, align, and strengthen. It is a versatile practice, adaptable to the different needs of those seeking to live fully and connected to the divine. There is a profound wisdom in keeping plans, in protecting our dreams just as a gardener protects his seeds. Not every vision is ready to be shared, and not every idea should be exposed to the light before it takes root in the fertile soil of silence. This act of safeguarding is not fear or hesitation, but an expression of patience and trust in divine timing. The story of Nehemiah, as told in the scriptures, is a powerful example of this principle. When Nehemiah received in his heart the calling to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, He did not announce his mission immediately. Instead, he kept his plans secret, praying and waiting for the right moment to act. When he finally revealed his intention, his silent preparation had already created a solid foundation for success. This example teaches us that keeping plans is an act of faith and strategy, allowing the chosen ones to align with the divine purpose without distractions. We can visualize dreams as delicate seeds. A seed cannot be planted in just any soil, nor can it withstand premature exposure to intense heat or strong winds. Just as the gardener carefully chooses the place and moment to plant, the chosen ones understand that their plans need a safe environment to grow. Silence creates this protection, allowing dreams to grow away from critical eyes and energies that could suffocate them. Guarding plans also requires patience. We live in an era that celebrates exposure and speed, but divine timing operates differently. It invites us to trust the process, to wait for the right moment for our plans to bloom. This waiting period is one of refinement, a time to strengthen the vision and prepare the way for its manifestation. There is a transformative power in recognizing that not everything needs to be shared immediately. Every word, every idea, every dream has its perfect moment to emerge. Until then, silence is not empty but full of purpose. It is a space where divine wisdom acts, where the vision becomes clearer, and where trust in the process prepares us for fulfillment. Just as Nehemiah kept his mission until he was ready to act, we too are called to protect our plans. By doing so, we honor not only what is being created but also the Creator who entrusted us with these visions. In silence, we find the wisdom to discern the right moment, the patience to wait, and the strength to act when the time comes. This practice of guarding plans is not only a strategy, but a demonstration of respect for the creative process and the sanctity of dreams. In the end, it teaches us that what is nurtured and protected in silence has the potential to grow and flourish gloriously. In a world saturated with incessant noise, silence becomes a rare and deeply needed virtue. We live in an era of hyperexposure, where every thought, every action, every dream seems to need instant validation. Social media and digital platforms have created an environment where sharing is encouraged at all costs, but we seldom question the price of this constant exposure. Amidst this noise, silence emerges as a transformative power, a fortress that shields the chosen ones from distractions and weariness. Maintaining silence in a noisy world is a challenge. Notifications call, comparisons impose themselves, and the desire for recognition seduces us. But the chosen ones know that external noise can easily become internal, generating doubts, insecurities, and distractions. Choosing silence is, therefore, an act of resistance, a conscious decision to preserve energy and focus in an environment that constantly pulls us out of ourselves. Silence gives us the opportunity to reconnect with what is essential. It helps us avoid external distractions, allowing our attention to stay focused on what truly matters. In silence, we find clarity to discern what is true and aligned with our purpose, instead of being dragged by the currents of public opinion or other people's expectations. The benefits of silence extend beyond the spiritual realm. They impact our mental and emotional health. Studies show that regular periods of silence can reduce stress levels and improve concentration. In a world of constant stimulation, this quietude is a balm, a necessary pause to recharge our strength and revitalize our minds. To preserve silence in such a noisy world, it is necessary to adopt practices that protect our energy. One of them is limiting the use of social media, setting specific times to consume information and interact online. Another powerful practice is creating moments of intentional solitude, where we disconnect from devices and allow ourselves to be fully present. These choices may seem small, but they have a profound impact on our ability to maintain focus and protect our dreams. The chosen ones recognize that silence is not an act of isolation, but of preservation. It separates us from the noise but connects us with essence. It does not pull us away from others, but strengthens us so that we can offer the best of ourselves at the right moment. In silence, we find not only protection but also the power to act with purpose and conviction when the time is right. Thus, silence in a noisy world is more than a choice. It is a necessity. It is what keeps us centered, aligned, and resilient in an environment that constantly tries to disperse us. For those who have dreams to protect and purposes to fulfill, silence is the key to keeping the vision clear and the energy intact. Strengthening silence is an intentional process, a practice that requires dedication and sensitivity. It is not just about being still, but about cultivating an internal space where the noise of the world is not allowed to enter. Silence is a skill that can be developed, and there are practices that help transform it into a powerful ally for spiritual protection and alignment with the divine. Meditation is one of the most effective tools to strengthen silence. During meditation, we are invited to quiet the mind and create a space of presence. It is not necessary to try to eliminate thoughts, but to observe them without attachment, allowing them to pass like clouds in the sky. In this state of serenity, we connect with a deeper dimension of being, where silence is not absence, but fullness. Another powerful practice is the use of dream journals. Recording the visions and insights we receive in moments of silence creates a safe space to nurture these thoughts. The act of writing helps us organize our intentions, protecting them from dispersion caused by premature sharing. A journal becomes a sanctuary, a place where our ideas can grow without interference. Daily rituals also play an important role in creating inner silence. It can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes in the morning for prayer or reflection, or dedicating a moment of the day to walk silently in nature. These rituals help us slow down, step out of the frantic pace of the world, and reconnect with what truly matters. Conscious breathing is another accessible and deeply transformative practice. By focusing on our breath, we calm the mind and bring our attention to the present. Inhaling and exhaling with intention helps release accumulated tension and create a state of inner balance. It is in the rhythm of breath that we find a path to silence. Furthermore, it is essential to create an environment that favors the practice of silence. This can include choosing a specific place at home for moments of solitude, or regularly disconnecting from electronic devices. By eliminating external sources of distraction, we open space for silence to flourish. These practices not only strengthen silence but also transform the way we live. They make us more conscious, more connected to the present moment, and more aligned with our essence. By incorporating them into our routine, we realize that silence is not a distant state, but something that can be cultivated at any moment of the day. Silence is a gift, a present we give to ourselves. It connects us to the divine, protects our dreams, and gives us the strength to move forward with clarity and purpose. By strengthening silence through these practices, we create a solid foundation to face the challenges of life with wisdom and balance. Silence, often associated with emptiness, is, in fact, a space full of meaning. It is the fertile field where dreams are protected, intentions are nurtured, and the connection with the divine becomes deeper. For the chosen ones, silence is a constant companion, a guide that teaches the importance of preserving what is sacred and waiting patiently for the right moment to act. Along this journey, we learn that silence is not absence, but presence, a presence full of potential, wisdom, and strength. It protects us from external noise, from the distractions of the world, and, most importantly, from the insecurities that arise when we expose our dreams too soon. Just as the seed needs the darkness of the soil to germinate, our plans need silence to fully develop. Silence teaches us that not every revelation needs words. There is power in keeping, in protecting, and in trusting in divine timing. It reminds us that we are not alone, for silence is the place where we find God's presence, hear His voice, and feel His guidance. This sacred space strengthens us, preparing us to face challenges with clarity and purpose. Therefore, I invite you to reflect. How can silence transform your life? What dreams do you need to protect? What words should you withhold? What moment of stillness can you cultivate? Remember that silence is not retreat, but advance. An advance towards wisdom, peace, and alignment with what is truest within you. In the end, silence gives us the greatest of all lessons. It shows us that we are not just waiting for the right time, but being prepared for it. Every moment of stillness is an opportunity to become stronger, more conscious, and more aligned with our mission. Whatever your journey may be, trust in silence. Use it as a tool of protection, as a shield for your dreams, and as a bridge to the divine. What is born in silence has the strength of eternity and the power to transform the world. I end this journey with a special invitation. If this content touched your heart, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more reflections like this. Leave your impressions in the comments, share your experiences and insights. And if you believe in the power of silence, comment 77 to affirm your intention to protect your dreams and align with the divine. Thank you so much for being here and for being part of this moment. May silence be your strength and inspiration.